we're back. We're back. We are back. It's the Neon Nightcast podcast. Like always, I am your gracious host, Michael Thrax, and I am joined by Garrett Zagri.
Fucking get on with it, Jesus.
And Dr. Soybean.
Eric, Dr. Soybean. And as
Whatever. Dr. Soybean's too long of a name.
And as I like to refer to the two of you, the Oswald and Lewis to my Drew.
Okay, yep, that one's easy. Also,
Wait, what? What?
You haven't seen the show. It's from the Drew Carey Show.
Well, you always ruin it when you know it. It's supposed to be for the audience.
Okay, the audience. First of all, you should have an X in your name because me and Garrett both have X's in our names.
Dr. XX Soybean XX.
Also, I figured out why I'm always saying we're back, and it's because TJ Combo's theme song from Killer Instinct is called, I think it's called I'm Back or some shit. But anyway,
that makes absolutely no sense.
Well, I listen to the song like all the time. And they say it in the song all the time. So I think that's why I've been just going, we're back.
Well, we are back.
We are
here
back
for another amazing episode about...
quickly, because last episode was about Blade Runner, I just got back literally from watching Blade Runner 2049, and that movie is goddamn fucking amazing. Holy shit. Everyone's got to go see that movie. Like, I'm a huge fan of the first one, and my cat is being really loud and annoying right now, but I'm a huge fan of the first one, and that movie was fucking, like, that rocked my goddamn world. Holy shit.
Was it better than your first time having sex?
Oh, yeah. The first time I had sex, I was, like, wasted in a bathroom.
Was it better than the first time you ejaculated?
Okay, come on. That's too crude. Honestly, though, you guys got to go see it. It's amazing. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. That good.
I mean, it's Blade Runner. It's you're like overhyping it. So when I do go watch,
I went in there.
This isn't that good.
I went in there with like kind of not high expectations because I'm often disappointed by things, and like I was like, oh, like how good is it gonna be? It's all gonna be fast paced, and it's not gonna be like the original. No, it's so good.
You're coming off the hype of having just seen it. I would say wait a week and then reflect.
No, Eric, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. When I fucking love something, I love something forever. So anyways, Blade Runner was last week. This week, the first week of October, second week of October,
yeah.
We're going to start getting spooky. We're going to have a Halloween themed couple episodes. So this one we're going to talk about TV specials. Halloween themed TV specials. We all love those. I
mean, I wouldn't say I love them.
Well, growing up,
and Halloween in general, but
growing up, one of the biggest things about Halloween was the specials, and like I just remember being excited for Simpsons and the Treehouse of Horrors.
See, like I didn't watch Simpsons. The only like Halloween special I watched every year because my mom loved Charlie Brown. Was the Charlie Brown Halloween story? The Great
Pumpkin.
Great
Charlie
Pumpkin.
Brown.
It's the great. Yeah, that's it.
Pumpkin.
I never liked Charlie Brown. Even as a kid, I thought it was really lame.
I mean, it is lame.
I honestly haven't seen the whole thing because, I can't sit through Charlie Brown. I can't sit through it. It's so boring.
Yeah, I typically would always get up and leave or go find something else to do because, it wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy it all that much. It's just a bunch of kids running around without any parental guidance.
Wah, wah.
And some bitch that just wants to pull a football away from Charlie Brown. He's going to kick it. Like, she's an asshole. She's like the worst person.
What's that?
I don't even remember her name.
Is that Sue Ellen?
I don't know. It's
Sue
the
Ellen's
dark-haired one.
Sue Ellen's the...
It's Peppermint Patty.
God
No,
damn it,
Peppermint...
Eric. Get the
No,
fuck
that is
outta
Sue
here.
Ellen. Peppermint Patty's the lesbian one.
Oh, I
right.
thought Eric was doing My Little Pony shit.
No.
No, that
Peppermint-
chick's name is
Peppermint Patty. Peppermint Patty sounds like a My Little Pony thing. So,
No, it's definitely Charlie Brown.
all right, whatever.
Whatever.
But I guess my fondest Halloween special memories are of Treehouse of Horror from The Simpsons. But oddly enough, one of my earliest memories of watching TV was a Halloween special of the show Knight Rider, that 80s show with the talking car. And I was so young that I don't even remember what it was about other than that it scared me. But it probably wasn't actually scary. It's probably because I was literally like 5.
I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, there were some shows like that for me. Like, did you guys ever watch the movie Prince of Egypt?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We saw that.
The story of Moses.
Our mom, for some reason, like, thought that movie was important enough that we had to go see it in theater.
Okay, so whenever I was little, I fucking hated that movie just because whenever whenever he would go and like that the angel of death would come and kill the firstborn,
Yeah.
that freaked me the fuck out.
You're not
And,
even the
like,
firstborn.
I would have-
Why are you scared?
I know.
Gabe
but,
would have
like-
died.
But dude, it freaked me the fuck out, and like I would have nightmares about that. And I hated that show.
Movie.
It's a bunch of bullshit anyway, but you know.
Yeah, I remember, like, Mom was like, she gathered us up and she's like, oh, we're going to go see the Prince of Egypt. And I was like, I have no...
Dude, you make it sound so weird. It was we were going to a movie. We were also gathered up.
No,
to go
it
see
was...
We were also gathered up to go see the fucking Mr. Magoo movie. It was just going to see a movie.
I just, for some reason, I think it's because I had literally, like, no desire to see it. Like, I don't know why Mom wanted to see that out of all things.
I guess because it was a Disney movie. I don't know.
Oh, was it Disney? I forgot about that.
Yeah, but, like, we didn't see...
You make it sound so bizarre, but it was just going to see a movie.
You know what it was bizarre? Because it was, like, a fucking, like, Christian story. And, like, we're not religious. We were never religious. So I was always confused.
Yeah, but it's just a movie.
I was confused why we had to go see it. But I think that's a fair thing.
I mean,
as a child, being like, why are we seeing like this Christian story? We don't go to church, Mom.
I mean, I guess that would be a fair.
I'm sure there was better movies
that.
playing. Yeah, Garrett's on my
Maybe.
side. Garrett's on my side. Thank you, Garrett.
It's just because I hate religion, so I'm gonna be on your side on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
yeah.
I'll give you one of my fond memories. After trick-or-treating, one year, it was like I forget who I was with. I think it was with our old stepsisters or something. And it was in the downstairs apartment on, not on like Lake Drive.
Okay, don't give the street names, but yeah.
No one knows. You know what I'm talking about. The downstairs apartment.
Yeah.
And we watched Are You Afraid of the Dark and Freaky Stories in front of that huge TV that like came with the house.
Yeah.
Garrett, this apartment we lived in was structurally, was really weird. It was really unique, and for some reason, it had a giant ass TV built into it.
Just like in the wall, or
It like
what?
came out of something.
Huh? Like, did it just like drop out of the
Was that-
ceiling or out of the ground or something?
That was like Marty's TV.
Yeah, he had a rear projection TV, which you pushed a button and it rose out of a console.
Am I remembering this wrong? But did that house have a big TV?
Yes, it did. but just
Okay.
not the TV you're describing.
Okay.
But yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark and Freaky Stories? I mean, those I guess weren't necessarily Halloween shows because they were on all the fucking time.
Well,
But,
no, Freaky Stories started as a special, and then it got its own show. Remember?
okay.
Like, the special, it was... So, Garrett, the story was... The story. Okay.
It
It was a cockroach, and the original specials, he was in, like, a cage of a polar bear or something. But then when it got its own TV show, he was in a diner and he had a maggot sidekick. And they were like really disgusting looking puppets, and they would like introduce the stories, and then the stories
These are
were in
puppets?
cartoon.
Like it's not even like animated?
No, like
but
the stories were cartoon. Yeah.
the stories were
Oh, okay.
cartoons, and it was always like shit based on like old urban legends and stuff.
And I remember like it would
So,
always so
Squanch.
every intro, the first line of every story was, "This happened to a friend of mine."
Yeah, it was like all the stupid old urban legends, like if you use too much hairspray, you get like bugs in your hair and shit like that.
Yeah. They weren't they weren't really scary.
I didn't even know that was an urban legend.
And Are You Afraid of the Dark was, I don't know, Garrett, you're probably too young to remember it, but
Yeah, I don't remember.
it was like a bunch of kids around a campfire telling each other stories, and it was like I guess you could compare it to like the Twilight Zone or Tales from the Crypt Keeper, but for kids.
Yeah.
But some of the stories, looking back on it, like a lot of them were really cheesy and really corny, but every once in a while there would be one in there that would be shockingly dark for a kid's show.
Yeah, there was one with a clown that really scared me as a kid.
Well, the darkest one that I remember was about a family they inherit this old house from their deceased uncle, and the kid's down in the basement, and he figures out that every time you play music in the basement, all these like fucked up all these like fucked up creatures come out of the cellar. So eventually he traps the neighborhood bully in the basement to like fuck with him and turns on music, and he comes down and the kid is just like gone.
Yeah.
And then the voice is telling him like, if you keep feeding me, I'll give you anything you want. And then you hear his like bitchy little sister upstairs like yelling at him to come make her dinner or he's going to get in trouble. And he just like turns to the camera with this like evil smile, and then the story ends. So like for a show aimed at like 10-year-olds, that's pretty fucking dark.
I mean, the one I can remember that was pretty dark and for children was the Goosebumps one, where you put on, it was that mask one.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Eric, do you know the story? Because like it's just barely in my head, and I don't think I could retell it very well.
You know, I remember the episode you mean. I don't remember much other than like, wasn't it eventually like if you wore the mask too long, you couldn't take it off, and it started to like
that.
Yeah,
it started to
he
make
couldn't take
you
it
like, it started to make you act like a monster though.
Something like that. Yeah, it made you like feral or something.
I remember,
I don't know.
So, Are You Afraid of the Dark? The clown one really scared me. This kid gets dared to go into a fun house and steal the nose off of this clown, and then like the clown's not real, right? It's like a statue, a animatronic thing, and then
That's what they want you to think.
yeah, and so then it's like haunting him and coming after him. And another one that was really weird was, remember the one where like there was like this midget man came out of the computer?
Oh, he was a computer virus who got sucked into the real world.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
like
that one was pretty intense.
yeah, I remember that one scaring me.
I also remember finding one freaky where it's like this girl who bought a pair of glasses in a magic shop, and when she put them on, she could see people who weren't there, kind of like the movie They Live. But it was like she'd put the glasses on, and there'd just be like these people who were like totally black and like faceless.
Yeah.
That nobody else could see.
Remember,
That's pretty weird.
there was like that weird one where that girl got like possessed by the ghost from like the Civil War era, and it was something to do with like horses.
Mon Petit Rouge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that one.
Also, there's a really weird episode of Freaky Stories where it was really like, looking back, it was really inappropriate, but like they did the what are they called? The stories, Eric?
Urban legends.
They did the urban legend of the girl that put tuna in her pussy so her boyfriend would eat it out, and then when he went down there was
didn't.
maggots.
I thought you were serious for a second.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking as looking back.
Like, whenever I hear stuff like that, I always think of that movie called like Teeth or something.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like the
I can't
girl
watch
that
that, man.
has like teeth and
Down
her
there?
like vagina. Oh god, that one just I don't even because they always say it's based off a true story, and apparently like enamel or some
come on.
hard
No, that wasn't.
Like,
come on.
shit. Yeah, that's what I heard. Like whenever I first saw that, that's what I heard. I was like, oh yeah, it's based off a true story. I'm like, are you sure? Like, where's your proof on this?
And like, yeah, and so she started to like murder dudes with it. No.
Well, she wouldn't murder them. She would just eat their penises. I mean,
No.
yeah.
So
it's
Goose-
so just think, you got a blowjob and vaginal sex at the same time.
Goosebumps. The ones with the puppet always scared the shit out of me, man. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
The dummy Slappy, I think his name was.
Something like that. Yeah, Slappy was pretty intense as a
Slappy?
child. I'm trying to think of other ones. I remember there being really lame ones. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like the ghost kids on the beach? Or was that Goosebumps?
That was Goosebumps.
Yeah, that one
Goosebumps, I think, overall was a bit lamer than... Are You Afraid of the Dark was a bit darker overall than Goosebumps, but it had its lame episodes, too.
Yeah.
But the ones you remember, of course, are the ones that actually, like, got to you.
Yeah.
You don't remember the lame
I
ones.
know JonTron did a bunch of episodes about Goosebumps, and yeah, like the acting in them are like really horrible, and they're just really fucking cringy.
Yeah, as kids, though, we were like, hey, this is...
Just like Dad looks over, he's like, "You all right, guys?" And we're like pale and like sweating,
Yeah.
just like.
I think it's hard for kids to be movie critics, especially when it's supposed to be like a kid horror movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
I guess... No, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like.
what were you gonna
Fuck
say?
you fucked up my head, man. You mind flooded me. Yeah, as kids it was, I loved the candy and shit, but there was something about like watching specials after you were done trick or treating, like.
See, Halloween is like my least favorite holiday. Like everyone hypes it up.
For me, now
everyone
it is.
loves it, but like Halloween has always been just the one that I'm like, like I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
Well, we since you didn't bring up TV series, I do remember we did watch quite a bit of the 80s Twilight Zone when we were younger, because that was like, I mean, obviously it was scarier than Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff like that, but it wasn't anything
I was
too
never
extreme.
ever scared of.
It wasn't like
Twilight
it wasn't like
Zone.
Tales from the Crypt level or anything like that. There was one I remember that stuck with me and kind of freaked me out a bit. And it's basically like this nerdy loser kid, and just one night he's in his room, and with no explanation, this shadow man comes out from under his bed, and he's like, "I'm the shadow man from under your bed. Like, tell me what you want to do," basically. So he basically makes this thing his slave.
He's like,
and
Like where was
sex?
when I was a kid? Like,
well, he
I
makes
can
this.
just give whatever like I want.
He like makes this thing his slave. He makes it like beat the shit out of all of his enemies, And then he sets up a meeting with like his main bully in the park at night, and he's like to the Shadow Man, he's like, all right, meet me there. We're going to kick the shit out of this kid. So he goes there, the kid comes up, the kid like sees the Shadow Man coming and like flips the fuck out and takes off. And the nerdy kid's just like, good job, my man. And then the Shadow Man like grabs him by the throat and lifts him up. And he's like, what the fuck? And then the Shadow Man just goes, I'm a Shadow Man from someone else's bed. And then the episode just ends.
Oh, come on. It's
Where's his shadow? Like, he told his Shadow
like
Man
10
to be
years
there. Where's
old.
his Shadow Man?
Dude, I was like 10 years old.
Like, I don't agree with these. There are holes here. Where was his Shadow Man? Can Shadow Man die? Can Shadow Man fight each other?
I guess his Shadow Man got the shit kicked out of him by the other Shadow Man.
I guess.
I'm just imagining like a Shadow world where the nerd Shadow Man was like this fucking wimp and shit that always got bullied.
Yeah, because the nerd kid Shadow Man is a nerd.
So he comes into our world where he can like beat up people really easily. But on the topic of TV Halloween specials, we've all seen Frasier, and
that's our most viewed podcast.
Well, yeah, it is actually. The one episode Halloween special that I remember the most is the one where Roz is pregnant, or she doesn't know she's pregnant. She thinks she's pregnant, and then Niles is throwing this huge costume party for Frasier's radio station, which is weird. I always thought that was weird that Niles was throwing the party for Frasier's radio station.
Yeah.
But, oh well. And anyway, Frasier finds out that Roz is pregnant, and, you know, Frasier is a piece of shit. And can't keep secret.
It, like people keep overhearing little pieces of the story, and then like more rumors are getting spread. Yeah.
So eventually Niles thinks that Frasier got Daphne pregnant.
And he's like wasted, and he wants to like fight him.
Yeah, and that's the episode where Frasier keeps being like, I'll give you the taste of the back of me sinewy right hand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets less and less funny.
Yeah.
It's such a good episode. And then Roz eventually comes out, and she's pregnant. And
she's like, it's not Daphne, it's me.
Yeah. And then Niles, I think, proposes to Daphne or something in this episode.
He's going to.
Yeah, so overall, it's a good episode to just progress the Frasier storyline. You know, Ross
they
has
kind of like worked in Halloween. Well, like Frasier's not gonna have an episode where there's like a ghost and he wakes up and it's just all a dream or some shit. Like, no, it's just kind of like it's a Halloween themed episode because they're at a Halloween party, but it's a typical Frasier day where there's just chaos.
Yeah, I mean, man, I love Frasier. I saw this Reddit thread today about Frasier memes and how Reddit lacks Frasier memes. And there's this dump of all these Frasier GIFs and pictures.
Yeah.
It makes me want to rewatch the show again for the third time. Because, yeah, I mean, it's such a good show. It's so amazing.
I was gonna bring up, because thinking of the Twilight Zone, that reminds me of Nanny's Basement, and another show that we used to watch down there was Fact or Fiction.
Oh, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Yeah, and that
was a show. That was a show, Garrett, basically, where they would tell you. I think it was an hour long. It was hosted by the guy who played Riker from Star Trek TNG.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And they would introduce 5 stories, and it was always like weird supernatural shit or like something freaky. But the gimmick of the show is that some of the stories were supposedly based on true events, and others were just shit that the writers of the show made up. And you were supposed to try and guess which ones were
factors.
Were
So
fact
some
and
were
which ones
based
were
off
fiction.
story, and some were creepypastas.
Yeah. So one that I remember was like a horse off of a merry-go-round bit someone. And it was all like, oh, it's haunted or whatever. So apparently when they were like, that one was true, we were like, what the fuck? And then they explained that like a snake, because like apparently this thing was hollow and a snake had like gotten itself into it. And it just like bit someone. Yeah. So
That's funny.
it was a really cool show, and I remember we were really bummed when it stopped being on TV.
Was
Also,
it because Jonathan Frakes lost all of his popularity.
Also,
No.
I guess
All right.
I guess I'll bring up real quick.
Poor Garrett.
All right. I'm sorry. Continue, Eric.
No, I guess I'll bring up real quick since we mentioned it briefly. Tales from the Crypt, even though that wasn't something I really watched as a kid, more as a teenager. But probably the most fucked up, disgusting, weirdest episode of that was this. The entire episode focuses around this woman who's obsessed with winning a beauty pageant. And first of all, they kind of imply that this takes place at an unspecified date in like the near future. So anyway, she's obsessed with winning this beauty pageant to the point where like she murders off her competition.
Yeah.
And then finally she wins. And you see the final pageant and there's like nobody on stage but the host. And she's announced as the winner. And they're like, congratulations, Miss whatever, for winning the Miss Autopsy pageant. And they wheel her out on stage and like she's dead or her entire body's like cut open with her organs displayed.
What?
Yeah.
It's really weird.
What's the twist? That's just
Why would you
confusing.
why would you murder people to win a pageant that's just you getting fucking murdered and having your body put on display?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make
That's the
any
twist.
sense.
It doesn't make
'Cause
any
I was
sense,
gonna make
but like
a
that
joke.
doesn't happen in real life.
I was going to make a
no
joke about
shit,
pageant
Michael.
winners.
Well, what's scary about that? There's
The
nothing
idea
scary
that-
about that.
The idea that in the future that people like for whatever reason this is a desirable thing to have happen.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything for me. I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Why would people desire that in the future?
yeah,
I don't know. I didn't write the fucking episode.
I know. I'm trying
It's
to
like
brainstorm here.
why would fucking I don't know. Anyways,
well,
moving on.
The best part of Tales of the Crypt was the Crypt Keeper. In between, he'd like make jokes, and he was always doing something like freaky and stuff. Like he was just a sweet character.
Was
He's
he
really
ever
like
burying bodies?
he was like really like sarcastic and like I don't know. He was the best part of the show because clearly I don't like their stories because that was fucking stupid.
Well, you just don't get the psychology behind it.
Oh yeah, I don't understand the complexity.
It's supposed to be a story about like the lengths people will go to get something they want, even if it's something that like is absolutely no good for
Yeah,
them.
I understand that, but like, that's just dumb, dude. That's just dumb.
Okay, well, take it up with the writer.
I will. I'm gonna send him a fucking email.
I mean, we're not blaming you, Eric.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're like, what are you getting all offended? I'm just like, I don't think that's a good story. I don't think that's a good twist. It's just lame. At least have it be something like realistic.
Yeah, but then what's the story?
That she's
That
killing
she's
people,
killing
and
everyone.
then
Yeah, but that's a story that's been done a billion fucking times.
and then it just bites her in the ass. Yeah, it's better to do
You
something
could do
that's
it
done a
so-
million times than do something that doesn't make any sense.
It
Like,
does make
okay,
sense.
so in the thing, did she know it was an autopsy
Yeah.
pageant?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was her
just
goal.
doesn't make sense.
I don't I don't
It's
think.
like,
I
did
don't
you guys
think
ever
that's neat.
did you guys ever read that book called The Lottery? Where it's kind of like that. It's like you don't like
It's conformity
in
gone
the
mad.
Western world, like, yes, you want to win the lottery, but in this book, no, you don't want to win the lottery because you die.
It's conformity gone mad. But anyways, moving on, I wanted to ask Mike, like real quick, what's your favorite Treehouse of Horror?
Got to think long and hard with the deep sigh on this one.
Because there were so many of them.
I
They
can
did it every year.
I can't remember like which episode had which special, like which story.
Right.
I do like the one where it's Homer listening in to them telling the stories in the treehouse, because at the end they're like, okay, good night, and like Homer's just like shaking and sweating, like freaked out. But I think my favorite one, I think overall my favorite one was the one where they did The Shining. Sorry,
Yeah,
The
that whole-
Shining.
That whole one is good. Because they have that running joke where Willie keeps showing up in the stories and he keeps getting killed every time he tries to help out.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they sniff that fog that turns them inside out.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah, and they do the song. They're like dancing, and their like organs are like out, and like Santa's little helper like grabs Bart and drags him away.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What? How does turn them? What? How do you get turned inside out?
It's just The Simpsons, man.
It's the Simpsons Halloween specials. They're not like canon to the show.
Yeah.
It's just like ridiculous horror stories.
And they're just like they're like, everything's fine, Homer. And they're like, oh no, there's that fog.
That turns people inside out.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like Homer wakes up from a nightmare that he's having, and like life's back to normal, everything's fine. But no, there's this fog.
So dumb. Oh,
That's what, dude. You should watch The Simpsons though. Like, it's making you laugh.
I mean, I probably should watch The Simpsons, but right now I'm busy watching other. I actually don't have anything on my plate right now to watch, so I might watch The Simpsons.
Letterkenny, man.
But you know, it's The Simpsons. It's garbage. Why would I want to watch
You
it?
should watch Letterkenny.
It's like the greatest show ever made, man.
Eric, you should
No, it's
also
not.
watch. You should also watch Letterkenny.
Nah, that show didn't really do it for me.
You haven't even seen anything about it.
Yes, I have. You showed it to me.
You showed it to him and he didn't get a boner, so he didn't want to watch
It
it.
didn't have cartoon ponies in it.
Yeah, there you go. Because that's the only thing I watch.
It's a joke, dog.
All right, what shall we talk about next?
All
We've
right,
got
well,
a couple if you'd
I
like.
was gonna bring up one that you had mentioned.
Okay, is it Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I was gonna talk about Bob's.
Okay, we can talk about Bob's and then Brooklyn Nine-Nine after.
Yeah, Bob's Burgers goes all out for their Halloween specials. They're always well, okay.
I wouldn't say all out. They make an episode of the Halloween theme. If that's going all out, then sure.
Well, there are shows that don't even do Halloween specials, but for Bob's Burger, I don't know, for some reason the Halloween ones really stick out. Because it's not like The Simpsons where they do something kind of like differently structured. It's like Frasier. It's like an episode of Bob's Burgers, but it's Halloween themed.
Yeah.
And some of them are completely comedy, like the one where they get trapped in their little treehouse and they can't go trick or treating. Other ones,
it's a cardboard box on the ground.
yeah.
Not a treehouse, silly goose.
Oh yeah, okay. There's one that touches upon like teenagers and vandalism,
Teenagers coming of age during Halloween.
vandalism and pranking and shit. And then there's one where it's kind of horror themed, where they're fucking with Louise, and they're in a haunted house apparently.
Really? I don't remember that one.
That one's really funny. I like that one. But yeah,
I need to go
Bob's.
watch that one. See, my favorite one is the one where they're trapped in the box because
That's
they
the one I
have,
remember most clearly.
yeah, because they have Aziza Ansari playing that other kid in the show with them.
Yeah, I
And
love that character.
he's like this nerd character, and he's got like the entire neighborhood mapped out on like which houses give you shit, which houses give you like the best candy. So, and then he gets trapped in this box for the entire night, and like at one point he starts like hyperventilating and shit. He's freaking out because Halloween is his favorite holiday.
Yeah, he wants to go
And
trick or treating.
he missed it. He missed it because he's in a box that's being crushed by a delivery truck.
Yeah. No, he wants to go trick or treating, man.
Yep, but unfortunately he couldn't. Aziz Ansari got no candy that year.
Millie is a fucking psycho.
Yeah. Whenever like Millie's coming to the box, you can just hear her name like Millie, like on the wind and stuff.
Yeah.
Like honestly, they should have like made her the theme of Halloween and made her creepy. That would have been a great like just recurring Halloween episodes with her in it.
There's an episode where she's like running for president, so she'll like force Louise to be friends with her, and it's really
that was her only policy.
That one is so fucking funny, man. I fucking love that episode.
My favorite episode is when Bob cuts himself and they have to go to the doctor.
Oh, and they
So
have
the
the
kids-
casino.
Yeah, the kids like are taking care of the shop or the restaurant. They have that casino downstairs, and they've got those two twins in the locker counting the money. The
Yeah.
freezer, and all they have on is their underwear, and they're
Yeah, they're like freezing.
they're in the
to
meat
death.
locker.
Like,
That part is so fucking hilarious.
because Louise is amazing. She's the best character. I love the girl group.
Oh yeah,
What's the
Jean-
song they sing? It's like girls being girls being girls being
Girls
girls.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole show's pretty good too.
They're getting a movie for 2020.
Yeah, I saw that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about
Wow.
it.
And
Don't
yeah,
know
so
what it's
they're
gonna
like,
be about,
it
but
took The Simpsons 20 years to get their first movie. Take that, The Simpsons. Bob's Burgers getting one in this, like sixth season.
One, it's a different time. Like back
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
it wasn't common for TV cartoons, adult cartoons, to get movies. Now it's it's not
Like,
a big deal. I don't think.
Family got one in its third season, but it went straight to fucking DVD.
Wait, what was their movie?
The
Untold Story of Stewie Griffin.
Yeah.
That was a
Oh,
made-for-TV movie.
that was the
Now
one
it's just
goes
like an
back in
episode.
time and sees his
Yeah.
Oh, he
future.
goes in the future, yeah.
Yeah. Was Blue Harvest considered a movie?
I think so. I think that was a TV movie as well. No, maybe that was just like a long episode.
Because I know
I
it's
think
like
they aired those.
3 or 4 different episodes. So
It's only 3
Yeah.
episodes. I love the part in the Untold Story of Stewie Griffin where he jumps out the window, and then it's so clearly like a stunt man.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
like baby Stewie jumps out the window, and it's like a black guy in a Stewie costume.
yeah, I love it whenever shows do that. Like they do this like stunt, and it's so obvious.
It's a stunt
obvious
double,
they're
or
trying
it's
to-
a
like
dummy or something.
It's
Yeah.
it's so funny because like when they land, they just like the dummy rag dolls, and like it does all these like twists that are impossible for a human to do.
humans, and then, like, the
And
guy
the
stands
next
up.
the next scene, the guy just like pops up and he's like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
the worst I've ever seen, and I didn't notice it when I first watched the show, but after it was pointed out to me, I can't unsee it. And there's an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where the cafeteria lady like goes insane, and then there's a part where like she tries to attack Buffy with a knife, and Buffy like knocks her out. So the cafeteria lady is like a late middle-aged obese woman.
Yeah.
And if you look at the moment when Buffy actually like kicks her, it's clearly like a man in his 20s dressed in the cafeteria lady's clothes.
That's fucking funny.
Is it like a buff guy? That'd be fun. Like a guy with a 6-pack.
Yeah. I love in Austin Powers where he puts Mini-Me in the bag, and then and like clearly it's not him. And he's like swinging the bag around and like knocking it through tables and shit. Also another the YouTubers Super Mega did a little skit where they did like a vlog where they went to the store and they have this cat that lives with them, like their pet, and at the very beginning it's like this really quick, really fast-paced, edited, shotted thing where they just put the cat in an IKEA bag and they're like, let's go, banana, and they like throw it against the wall and there's like a brick in it.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I think there was one with like Chris from Oni Plays where they do that too.
Yeah.
By the way, do you always call it vlog? You don't call it vlog?
Dude, I don't know, man. You know my brain. Sometimes it's Mario, sometimes it's Mario. Like,
yeah, you're weird.
Yeah.
So, is there any more Halloween specials that we can think of?
Yes, the last one I had on my list was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Like, before watching this show, like I'd known Terry Crews, I'd known of him. But then I started watching this show, and then the Hot Ones with Terry Crews came out, and now I'm just like a huge fucking fan of Terry Crews. Yeah, like Terry Crews is amazing because like he's this huge buff guy in this show, but in the show he's like, I'm not gonna say like he's almost like a pansy.
Almost.
Like he's sometimes too scared to go out in the field and do shit.
Yeah. He's like, he's super worried because he has like twin daughters, so he's like super worried that like they're gonna grow up with no daddy because he's a cop.
And like, so getting on track of the Halloween specials, he's always the one that's like serious. He's the one that tries not to be childish out of the whole group.
Well, him and the captain.
Yeah, him and the captain. But anyway, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, their Halloween specials is between Andy Samberg's character, Jake Peralta, and the captain. And they have a bet every year that Andy Samberg cannot steal something from the captain, or that an item that will be placed in a neutral location an item placed in a neutral location has to be stolen by one of them.
Yeah.
Without anyone else knowing.
Yeah, so they kind of do like the same concept, but different shit happens. Like through what was it, 4 seasons?
3 so far. Or actually, there's 4 seasons, but only 3 episodes of Halloween specials.
Maybe I watched
The first one, Jake wins. The second one, Captain Holt wins. The third one, Gina wins.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know.
Dude, but anyway, Gina's like the funniest character in that show.
She is. Like, I think her real name is Chelsea Peretti. Gina Peretti is her fucking. Her name is Chelsea something.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yeah, like, she's so funny. And yeah, I like my favorite part of her was when she got hit by a bus, and she's wearing this brace, like this body brace, and she's an avid dancer. Like, she likes to go dancing and stuff. So she's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And she tries to start dancing in this brace, and she's just like making the worst sounds ever, like the worst sounds of pain you can imagine.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And she's just doing these dances, making all these grunts and terrible noises.
I love how sarcastic she is. But what were you gonna say, Eric?
No, I was going to say that's like, real quick, that was like this guy, JBL, who does commentary for WWE, and he's like a big, rich Texan character, and he always wears a cowboy hat. and they did an angle one time where he had a serious neck injury. So he was wearing one of those giant neck braces that extends like 3 feet above your head, and he would come out with the cowboy hat on top of the neck brace.
Did he ever do the yeehaw, Eric? Is that where you got all your Texas stereotypes from?
Yeah, from JBL, that's right. But I guess getting back to the Halloween theme, what was your guys, like, when you went trick-or-treating as kids, like, what was your favorite shit to get in your sack?
Oh, man. Probably like Reese's Pieces, because hardly any houses gave fucking Reese's Pieces.
Also, they reminded
so
you.
good.
Also, they reminded you of that magical summer where you made friends with an alien.
Are you talking about Reese's Pieces or peanut butter cups? Because I feel like Garrett was talking about buttercups. But that's
peanut butter cups, yeah.
Oh, okay. You said Reese's Pieces.
I'm sorry.
That's from E.T. That's how he lures E.T.
Oh, I was like, I don't know where this is going. But okay, yeah, now it makes sense. Yeah, the peanut butter cups, because I would only get like maybe 1 or 2 during Halloween, like, because they're pretty big. So,
dude, I liked anything like Reese's peanut butter cups or like Mars and Snickers. The little ones were, they were fine. They were definitely like you'd put them in the good pile.
Oh, I didn't discriminate. I ate all that shit.
Yeah, we used to always sort though. We would always sort and like chocolates and then like candies and whatever. But anything full sized, bags of chips, bags of chips,
bags of chips.
Well, like the mini bags of
and
chips.
then
I never got bags of chips. Like, it was strictly candy.
You never got the mini bags of chips?
Poor kid.
Oh.
Sometimes you'd get a can of soda.
That was the best. The houses that would give cans of soda.
But I remember the one thing that like really sticks out in my mind are, because you can only get them on Halloween, was the gumballs that looked like jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah,
I really like those.
I don't know what those are either. I don't think. You Canadians have weird ass stuff.
I can't believe you never got a bag of
all-dressed chips. All-dressed chips are fucking disgusting. Ketchup chips, disgusting. Poutine, fucking delicious. There you go.
But
plus, he likes all-dressed chips.
All-dressed is actually pretty great.
Yeah.
The best was, like you said, the soda houses. That was like the fucking shit when you would go to a house and get a can of pop.
So I think overall my favorite is the chips.
See, like, I can't say what my favorite specific thing would be, because it was just I mean, I said Reese's Buttercups, but like candy in general is great, and that's all we got. Like I said, we didn't get chips or soda.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I liked all the candy.
Yeah.
That I got.
Yeah. Well, we cut Eric off. What were you saying, dude?
No, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know a thing.
Yeah.
Well, what did you not want to see besides fruit? Because I remember one year I had it was like a redo costume. It was just something I had from like last year. It was like a Grim Reaper's cloak that my mom made for me, but it was raining and snowing that year, and I had a winter coat on. So I remember one house, my friends get candy, and then the guy looks at me and he's like, "No costume." And he like reaches behind him and like brings out a fucking apple and put it in my bag. And I'm like I'm a kid, but I'm like, what the fuck? Like I have a winter jacket over my costume because it's fucking snowing out here.
Wow, what an asshole.
Yeah,
that's
so
actually hilarious.
What didn't you want to see other than fruit?
I never liked Rockets, or as you would know them, Garrett Smarties.
Oh yeah, the two, they make your mouth all dry and dusty.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
I
want to see
still
that.
like them.
And I kind of like them, but I kind of don't like them. Like the fuck, the Tootsie Pops.
Oh, Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tootsie Rolls.
Hated Tootsie Rolls.
I like them now as an adult, but I
You
remember
like
just
Tootsie Rolls?
yeah, they're okay. But I
Oh,
remember
God,
like
they're just like terrible chocolate. Like not, they're fake chocolate.
I don't think they're chocolate.
Yeah, I mean they're like chocolate flavored.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't know what the fuck they are, man.
Yeah, they're like they're wax that has chocolate flavoring.
Sure.
So as we, I guess, approach the 50-minute mark, I also wanted to ask, do you guys have any like crazy Halloween stories or like fun Halloween memories of shit that went down? Because it always was kind of like a crazy night, especially as you got into your teens.
Well, I told the story of the last time I went trick or treating, and like there was the party, and I was trying to impress a girl by playing GoldenEye. Other than that, it was
Got
like,
our panties wet.
Yeah.
other than that, it was like, whatever friend, whatever year, like sometimes it was this guy or whatever. We would just go out together. Sometimes it'd be like the three of us, like me, Eric, and our sister. But, like once I was 14, I didn't do anything. Like I would just stay inside and just chill.
Yeah, like once I got into junior high, like 6th, 7th grade, I never went trick or treating again, and and then Halloween literally became just another day for me.
Yeah. I remember one year handing out the candy, and that was pretty cool. I like that. But other than that, no.
You like giving away Tootsie Rolls, Mike?
Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, okay, yeah. So what kind of candy would you actually give away though? Like, were you one of the houses that you would have liked to go to?
I don't remember what we bought.
I think we usually gave away like a mix of I want to say like suckers and gumballs.
Yeah, Mom would probably just go to Walmart and just buy a box of whatever.
Yeah, I think my mom usually just went down to the
Food Basics.
Local grocery store and just bought like a variety pack of candy.
I do remember there was one year. This would have been, I was in grade 9, so we thought, like, me and my friends were like, we're too old to go trick or treating, and at the time we had a garage, and I don't know why, but we had an iguana cage in the garage. We never owned an iguana, but there was a big giant iguana cage in the garage. So we set up.
I remember what houses.
We set up the garage as like a haunted house. So like kids would walk in, and we had like, basically like dollar store decorations and shit like that. But then they were supposed to walk to the end where one of my friends was like dressed as a monster in the cage, and they had to like reach into the cage to get the candy from him. And then there were like some kids, like really young kids, who were too scared to actually do it. So then he would just like kind of like take some candy in his hand and like reach out and give it to them.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Okay, that reminded me of so I worked at a summer camp for like 8 years, and there was always, every Thursday was like a theme day. So there was always like a haunted day, right? And one year we did a haunted house, and it was basically kids had to like crawl through like a fort of pillows. And I don't know, that we made it spooky with like decorations. We had the lights off, and like there was no light and stuff. And yeah, it was just adorable. Like some of the kids would like be too scared at the end of it to like even like grab candy. So like you're just like handing it to them, and they're like crying and shit. But I remember we made our own like spooky noises and like edited together and stuff. And there's like one part where I was just like in the back, I was just screaming like, the ghost, it's raping me.
What the fuck?
Why
How
would
old are
you
these
say
kids?
that?
It was, I don't know, it was funny. Oh,
I also remember one year I used to take drama all throughout high school, and one year in drama class
we did this too. Or
We
I
tur-
did
yeah.
it too.
we turned like the drama room into like a haunted house, and like students could walk through it. But the reason why I remember this so clearly is that one of the attractions, or I guess like there was like a big heavy block of wood, and somebody would like drop it just to make like a really loud noise to try and scare people.
Yeah.
And the shithead operating it actually like dropped it on my friend's foot, and he broke his fucking toe.
Jesus Christ.
It's pretty rough, man.
Another quick camp story before we call it a quits. The one year, the murder mystery, like someone got murdered, right? And it's just another counselor with a mask on. There was these one kids. It was two brothers. They were so scared that they were like crying and
Just get it out.
anytime
Mike.
they saw the counselor, like after the day, they would cry. Like they were so scared of him, and like I'm pretty sure that was the last year for like a couple of years we were like allowed to do like a murder mystery theme, because it just like it scared those kids way too bad. I just remember like laughing at them. They're like these two little like chubby Mexican kids, and they were crying. And it's like, no, like it's just for pretend, guy. Like, kids are funny.
Scarred
man.
those children.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I guess tune in next time for we're gonna talk about.
I want to make one small addendum about when was it last week we talked about celebrities we met in person?
Yes.
Okay, well, a friend of mine that listens reminded me that Selena Gomez came to my junior high because she had family that lived in my town, apparently. Although I didn't meet her because like literally every kid from junior high was there, plus adults.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that because he reminded me that Selena Gomez came to my town. So,
Well,
yeah,
as
there's that.
as you're talking about this, I remember there was a show called Radio Free Roscoe, and one of the cast on that show was dating a girl in our high school. So, like, sometimes you'd see him, and he'd be like, "Hey, question mark," and he'd just, like, wave at you.
But is he as famous as Selena Gomez?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So fuck you, Mike.
Well, I'm just
I
saying,
win.
yeah, your story reminded me of this story. He's a celebrity.
I know. We're all good. You're good. Yeah.
So next week,
Next
Mike,
week,
you're
well, yes,
promoing-
we're gonna talk about horror video games, or things in video games that scared us as children.
Sounds spine tingly dingly.
Happy Halloween, everyone!
See you next time.
Goodbye.